Hello Tubesters, it's Gav and welcome to another one of my videos. Today, as the title suggests, it's a big thank you to a marra of mine, Mr. Greg Reilly. Greg is the... prepared as always. Greg is a nice bloke, but that's not what I was going to say. Greg's channel is 1 in 35 scale military modelling. Greg, don't worry, I'll have something written in the comment. I'll write something. This is just an off the cuff quick video. My wife's working downstairs and she tends to make a lot of noise and I don't want it coming up through the video, so I'm trying to rush it. Apologies Greg and apologies everybody else, but I want to thank Greg. He mentioned a couple of weeks ago when I first showed you the unboxing of the FT17 that my marra Beetle sent me. He mentioned he got this. You weren't going to really see it. It's shiny white. It's basically a cobblestone road, courtyard, whatever you want to call it, but it is perfect for that FT17. I was, wondering how I was going to knock one up myself. As I say, I try and keep, funds are always, fairly limited, so I just try. I thought, I'll do it in that blue foam, things like that. But no, this is going to be absolutely perfect, Greg. I really can't thank you enough. Now, he wrapped this up absolutely perfect. It's made of, looks like it's made of plaster of Paris, that type of material. Obviously it's fragile, and I couldn't believe how he wrapped it. And you're thinking, yes Gav, it's a kind gesture, but is the wrapping that really important? Well, it is, because Greg wrapped it up in this. Yes, a 1 in 35 scale main battle tank. This, as it says on the box, is the Brazilian Osorio, something like that anyway. Now, I thought that I knew the Brazilians had made these in the early 90s, and I thought they'd equipped their main battle tank force, whatever, with them. It turns out they didn't. No, these Osorios, there was only actually 2 ever made, so I'm really surprised that Trumpeter ever came up with this. I mean, you're onto a winner if you do a T55, T72, Abrams Challenger, They only ever actually made 2 prototypes. Because even when I saw the box art, I thought, oh, that's weird. Unless I don't remember the Brazilians being involved in any desert type operations, and I didn't. And it's not like Chile or somewhere like that where you've got the deserty areas. As far as I know, I don't know much about South America. But yeah, I was surprised, and it turns out that they made a private company in Brazil made 2 of these as demos, fully operational, and they took them to Saudi Arabia because the Saudis were interested. They were running a competition, as countries do. They usually, manufacturers put 2 or 3 of theirs into the ring, and the winner gets the contract. And this was up against the Abrams, the Challenger, and is it the Leclerc? I'm not sure, but the French MTB, I believe. I'm not sure the Leopard was involved in this. Could be wrong. And it supposedly, now this is I don't know. I've just read this on Wikipedia. It supposedly actually won the competition, and then there was pressure from the American government and all this to buy the Abrams. Don't know if that's any truth to that whatsoever. That's just what's written on Wikipedia. I have no idea about this tank. As I say, I'd heard about it and I knew roughly the shape and what it looked like, but I honestly thought they fielded 30, 40, 50, 60 of these. So it turns out they only actually made 2. Now, what I said when I thanked Greg personally, I said, it's going to be a good tank to learn on with me airbrushing and things, because I'm still, fairly rubbish at airbrushing. I'm not getting the stoppages like I used to, and I do still get the odd bit of spatter, when it shoots out in little bits occasionally. But I'm getting there, but my paint's still horribly not smooth. So I wanted to use this as a way of learning, different techniques. Now, it was Greg himself that mentioned on one of his videos. By the way, he just does 1 in 35 scale armour of different genres, World War II, modern, Great War. He's done some. He loved. I think it was a Whippet. Greg did. It was beautiful. Yeah, it's he mentioned another channel. It's a really big channel, a bit like Plasmos. It's Night Shift. Now, I must admit I've never heard of it. And he'd got some great. So I went over there yesterday and subbed, and he'd got some great techniques for giving a more metal finish using Tamiya putty, and he used Mr. Colour cement, but I've only got Tamiya cement at the moment. So if I did that, I might have to use that. Looking over there because it's there. So yeah, I thought, you know, but of course I've been trying to get close-ups of the Osario, and they're not particularly because this Night Shift said the only couple of tanks he could think where maybe it doesn't have such a slight metalized look is because he says you're not after like a cast effect. That's a totally different effect. He says it just gives you a very, very fine but more metal look to the tank when it's sprayed up. And he said the Abrahams and the Challenger might be one of the only two. Well, this is Challenger-esque because it's got a British gun, it's got a Dutch diesel engine, it's got I don't know about the fire control systems, I didn't read that much into it, but it's got a set of Cobham or Chobham style armour, which is what the Challenger has. So I'm wondering with that, would it be absolutely dead smooth? I'm hoping it's not, because I'd like to actually try that technique out, and I just think with all the slab sides to this, it would be a perfect tank to do it on. So no, Greg, I can't thank you enough. Again, it's like the generosity of people. It amazes you. You know, it's a lot of us are, you know, you're marras, but you're thousands of miles apart. Whether it's, you know, lads in the States, whether it's lads in Europe, lads in here, lads in the UK, you know, Australia. You know, we're people still, you know, reach out and help other people, and I think that's absolutely fantastic. You know, I must admit, Greg got me in trouble with the wife because I got the arched eyebrow when another kid, she came through the door last night and there was another kid sat there. She said, I thought after the motorbike you weren't buying anymore. I said, I haven't, it's Greg, I can't help it. You know? So that's one to use in the future. I'm going to use all your names for each one. Each one sent me this particular kit. She'll never know. So no, Greg, you know, it's really appreciated. You know, it's just such a great pickup. It's not even what the things are. It's the things that somebody's, you know, thought about somebody else. If you don't know Greg, he does some brilliant work on his armour, and I've learned a heck of a lot watching. I mean, the Tiger he's doing at the moment, you should see the weathering he's done on that. As I said to him on a comment, the back particularly, around the exhausts, just the rear engine deck, the little touches he'd done on that was stunning, brilliant work. So Greg, he was in a titanic struggle with cancer. And, you know, we were all doing our best to cheer him on from the sidelines, you know, and him and his family have been through hell, and he, even all through that, he was still coming on, and I've said this before on videos, making comments, not just on mine, but other guys as well, and for the bloke to do that, and still be in the fight that he was in, and he's beat it, you know, he's kicked it, stamped all over it, whatever you want to call it. He's still having to obviously with all this now dropping in our laps, he's having to self-isolate. He would have had to have done anyway to get his immune system back up. He can't do as much on his modelling as he would like. He's getting back into it slowly. If you go and see his videos, he says he's open about it all. I'm not saying things out of turn. But please go over and check Greg out. Not because he sends stuff out to people, but just because he's a bloody good bloke, and you know, he does some fine work and really entertaining videos. So thanks a lot, Greg. This will get built. It might not look much like the finished article once it is built, but it will get there. Just a quick, and this again to people, it's nothing, but if this was I don't know if it's from the Giro design sets he's got. You know, I couldn't go out and get that. I haven't got the dough for that type of stuff, and just that little piece of plaster like that means a heck of a lot to me, because it's got me a good setup and a push on from the FT17. Because by the way, I did put the sides on that yesterday and the small bits at the lower front and back. There were some gaps. Now that wasn't down to the kit. It's got to be me. They kept springing open. I kept trying to close them. But I've gone round last night and I was filling and then just putting some water over. I used my magic putty stuff, epoxy putty, and just put the small gaps that were there. Now all we're going to hope is when I start building the top part that it actually fits the rest of it. But I'm going to do some oil work on that tonight in between doing my commission painting, because it's not going to take long to do the oils. But I'm going to do a bit of painting on the interior of that tonight. Now I know that I've actually got it together. The engine sits off slightly to one side, and I'm not sure it was supposed to do that in real life. But yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, you know, it's a learning curve, and I've got a long time in the trenches with this kit building to actually become a proficient at it. But we'll get there. So guys, sorry I'm going off course, rambling, but it's all connected to what Greg sent me. So look after yourselves, Greg, look after yourself, and we will catch each other very soon on another video. Cheers.